some of you guys know, I was trying to make 50 soups this year, and then 2020 got crazy, so I'm not trying to get to 50 anymore. I was doing one a week, but I'm still a soup fan. I love soup. If you are trying to become more plant-based, soup is a nice, easy, filling way if you're not a salad person. I do like salads, but I don't know, salads are not my favorite thing if they don't have a lot of cool things in them to fill me up. Because when you're vegan or vegetarian, if you don't have a protein source, sometimes they just leave you feeling kind of empty. So anyway, all I've done so far is I took this pot and I put a little bit of organic olive oil in the bottom, probably a tablespoon or two. So I sprinkled some garlic powder, some salt, some paprika, and some black pepper. And then I cut my asparagus pieces up into 2-inch pieces, and I used 2 bunches from the grocery store, so usually they come in a bunch, and I used 2 of those. And now I'm gonna let this sit here. I did pour a little bit of veggie broth, and my favorite vegetable broth is this stuff right here. It's organic. It is a no chicken broth, so it tastes kind of like chicken broth, but it doesn't have any chicken in it. The ingredients are right here. As you can see, it's pretty much all vegetables, salt, a little bit of oil, and that's it. So it's really good. I highly recommend it. I make all my soups with that usually. And now I'm going to let this sit here. I'm teaching private lessons today, so I'm going to go teach a lesson right now. That's a half-hour long. Let this kind of sit here on low, and then come back to it. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, so it's been on low for about a half hour, low to medium. Oh, it's steaming up my camera. And it's starting to get soft. So the thing is, when you cook vegetables in soup, I feel like it's better to cook the veggies a little bit by themselves without adding all of the cream or broth or whatever you're going to add into it. I just think it gives it a better flavor. So if I were to dump all the ingredients in at once in the beginning, then I don't know, it just doesn't taste as good. So right now this broth is got that asparagus flavor to it. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the rest of my organic no chicken broth and I'm going to add it into our pot. Okay, and I'm going to add a little bit more pepper and a little bit more garlic powder. So I used to not be able to cook anything at all. And the trick to cooking is really about spicing your food up. So I'm going to let this sit for a little while longer till my asparagus is really soft and this is simmering a little bit, and then I'm going to be adding in what I'm using for the cream. So hold tight. Okay, so I have a little break right now. It's 11 o'clock. I teach till around 1, and then I'm going to come back and add our cream. So the cream I like to use, this is a fairly new thing I found at the grocery store, and I've seen it in a lot of places, so it's pretty common. It's a Silk dairy-free heavy whipping cream. Let's look at what's in it. Filtered water, coconut oil, sunflower oil, faba bean protein, guar gum, sunflower. So these aren't the cleanest ingredients in the world, but it's not bad, and it's definitely better than normal heavy whipping cream. So I'm going to add this whole carton in a little bit, and the reason I'm going to let this sit for a couple hours, it's on low right now. I might put it on medium for a little while I'm still on this break, but is the flavor really comes out the longer you let something simmer and cook. So when I make soup, if I try to rush it and cook a soup in an hour, sometimes you'll look up soup recipes and you'll see that it takes, oh, there's my kitty. You'll see that it like only takes an hour to cook this broccoli cheddar soup or whatever. It's not going to taste as good as if you really take your time with it. And I'm someone that has trouble being patient. And I also have trouble following directions. So I'm making this up as I go. I've never cooked a vegan cream of asparagus soup. But yeah, so I'm going to let this sit for a couple hours because it'll give me a better chance of producing something good. And yeah, this stuff's awesome. So see if you can find it if you are trying to be dairy-free. I try my best to be dairy-free. Once in a while it snakes into my diet here and there, but dairy is very inflammatory as well as gluten, so I stay away from both of those things. Here's Javi. Hi, Javi. Okay, so the vegetable broth, when you cook it for a while, reduces a little bit, which is nice. And I've had it on medium the last 20 minutes or so. So the asparagus is nice and soggy now, and it smells like my whole apartment smells like asparagus, which I love. Not everyone would love that, but I do. Okay, so here's our next step. I am going to take my Silk heavy whipping cream, plant-based, and I'm going to shake it. Always want to shake this stuff. And sorry, things are hard to open with one hand, I've realized. And I'm going to pour that in there. So, as you can see, I think shaking it definitely whipped it up a little bit. Kind of looks gross. But I've used this before, it's pretty good. And I'm going to add this in here and stir it. So it'll come out a little more liquidy if you don't shake it. I think it's better to shake it. And I'm going to stir that in. Again, that whipping cream, it's not like the ingredients are awful, but of course, like, it's not super, super health food either. It's not something I would use every day because it does have some oil in there. Okay, so now we got the cream in there. And now what I'm going to do is add Earth Balance. I always buy organic. So this is like a buttery substitution. If you are vegan, no GMOs. It is mostly vegetable oil and there's a little bit of soy in it. Again, this is not honestly like if you are eating super clean and you want to be close to nature as possible and be that good of a vegan. This is not something that I would say is like awesome for anybody, but it's not bad. I would honestly rather have this than butter, even though I guess butter comes from a cow, but it's gluten-free, non-dairy, non-GMO, vegan, and it's pretty good. It has lots of omega-3s in it, so I'm going to add some of that, and I am pretty generous with my Earth Balance. So I'm going to add a couple spoons to start with, and what I do is I just keep tasting whatever I'm cooking until it tastes buttery enough. And now the key to the soup is going to be to spice it up. Okay, so now my Earth Balance is melting. I'm stirring. I did taste a little bit of it. The cream has a tiny bit of like a coconutty hint to it, but it doesn't have any coconut in it. I don't know. It tastes a little sweet. So here's the consistency of it. It's not super thick. So I prefer not to add in flour. I'm gluten-free. Gluten-free flour is expensive and I don't really bake a lot. So I don't even have any on stock with me right now in my pantry. But I'm going to let this kind of sit on low for another hour or two, and that should thicken it up. I'm going to be adding some more spices, so I love adding black pepper to everything. I think pepper makes everything taste better, so that's a lot, but when you're cooking a decently big size pot of something, it kind of spreads itself out. And I'm going to add a tiny bit more salt. And this is like a seasoned salt that I like cooking all my vegetables with. And then garlic powder. Honestly, garlic powder will save any dish in my eyes, unless you're not a garlic person. Fun fact about me is I hate onions, so I never add onion powder or onions to my cooking. Most of my soups are just vegetables and vegetable broth, and I blend things up, and they taste really good, and they are super nutritious. This one's a little bit more of a comfort food. I'm just trying out a new thing. My hair doesn't ever curl, and I'm getting married in 2 weeks now, so less than 2 weeks as of today. So I'm trying to figure out how to do my hair. But I got these glasses yesterday also from Zenny. If you buy glasses from the eye doctor, you are wasting your money, because if you just get the prescription, you can get them for hella cheap if you just plug your prescription in. I think these were $30, but these are also really big on me, so I don't know how I feel about them. But yeah, just trying hairstyles. So I'm teaching lessons on and off all day. If you don't know, I teach private music and acting. So I do voice lessons, piano, and audition coaching. And I'm hanging out also. I'm on my break right now because they're all spread out throughout the day until 5 o'clock today. So I am on my break with Brutus. Hey Brutus, how are you? Brutus. Brutus is my iguana, if you didn't know that. This is Molly. She's my Boston Terrier. I also have a nice little iguana named Ivy. Or not iguana. Brutus was my iguana. Ivy is my chameleon. She's just crawling in there. And here is Harry. He's my favorite, actually, lizard that I have. He is a bearded dragon, and he's super friendly and nice. Hi, Harry. How's it hanging in there? The hot rollers added a little bit of wave. Here we go. This is the finished product. This is what it looks like. Balancing the whipping cream in it. But you can be creative with soup. You don't have to eat it like soup. So you can. What I'm going to be making for dinner tonight is this Beyond sausage. And then I'm going to add some rice and kind of like put the soup over it to make a risotto. Look at that. So creamy and yummy. And it's all vegan. So I combined the rice, the asparagus soup, and the sausage into this pan, and I'm doing a video. Okay, so anyway, this is what happens when you put that together. So it's an example of how you can use soup on a plant-based diet in other foods and not eat it really as soup. Yeah, of course. And then here is the extra container I have of whatever was left of the soup. Because I let it cook so long today, it definitely flavored up and it thickened a little bit, so that's good. And I'm gonna let that cool, and then here is my bowl for dinner.